Like most new traders out there, I used to think that trading Monday versus Thursday or Friday, specifically in options, is all the same. And boy, was I wrong. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys still probably think that, hey, if you have a great setup on Monday, why doesn't it work well on Thursday? So in today's video, I'm going to help you understand that. And I'm going to give you guys 5 tips on how you can have a better outcome on your 0DT trades. Let's get into it. Now, options are a little complicated. When you come from trading shares or futures, most people think, hey, if I have a certain strategy that requires the setup to do X, Y, and Z, why will it not work Monday versus Thursday or Friday? It all boils down to your strike selection and your expiration on options, right? Now, if you're trading shares, if you're doing futures, obviously whole different dynamic. There's no theta, there's no Greeks that are affecting your premiums. But in options, we have all of these things that impact your contract. So a strategy that might work very well, for example, let's say on Monday, you're buying the weekly expiring contract and your strategy is you jump in at the 15-minute range break and it's a very slow grind up in your direction. Or if it's a put, it's a very slow grind down. Now, as long as the trade is going in that direction, your option contracts are going to increase in value. Now, when you take that same trade and you change the day from Monday to, let's say, Friday, which those contracts are probably expiring that particular day, that same slow move, right? Remember, the key word here is going to be slow. We're comparing the trade from a Monday versus Friday and why those premiums get affected. When you have a slow moving price action on 0DT, what's going to happen is theta, which is something that affects your option contract, is going to be a little bit more aggressive versus that slow price action. Now, if that price action is very aggressive, which means you have a large body of candles, you have a lot of volume, then 0DT is going to pay you crazy, like it's nothing you've ever experienced before. And I can bet you on that once you taste that profit from 0DT, you will not be able to look at everything else out there. And a lot of people do talk about 0DT trading as a gamble because they don't understand how the premiums move. Anything you do in life without a complete understanding of how it works and what the outcome can be is going to be defined as a gamble, right? When we walk out of our house, we don't know if we're going to come back. We might get hit by a car, right? There's no guarantee. That's a gamble. So when you're walking out of the house and you're like, right, I'm going to be more careful. I'm going to look on both sides before crossing the street. Now you have more odds that you're going to make it alive and you'll come back. That's the same way with options. Once you have an understanding of how the premiums move on the 0DT days versus Monday or Tuesday, you'll have a much better outcome of that trade because you'll have a better understanding of what happens. So here are a few things that I look at when I'm taking 0DT trades to make sure that I have minimum downside and much higher potential for the upside return. First one is market biasness, right? You have to go over your pre-market checklist. I actually made a video on this. If you go check it out, it breaks down exactly what to look for during the pre-market hours for you to understand if the market is going to be choppy versus trendy. Because like I mentioned before, if your setup is a very slow mover or it is moving with choppy or wicky price action, the 0DT premiums are not going to move that well. So we have to be very, very careful during that time. This is why typically I try not to take SPY or SPX 0DT trades the first 15 minutes because there's so much volatility and there's a lot of fake outs. Usually after the 15 minutes, once that range is set, I have a much higher probability of understanding if the trade's going to work out or if the market is trendy or if it's choppy. The second one is going to be level of interest. So for me, the biggest level of interest is going to be a gap play. Whenever there is an overnight gap and SPY or SPX goes to fill that gap, this is where I typically make the most out of my 0DT trades. So I'll show you guys one setup that I actually took a trade off today, and I'm going to do a trade recap on that in a separate video. But let me show you guys exactly what I looked for in that particular setup. All right, so here is SPY's chart. Right, so we're gonna mark the levels from previous day's close, right? Not the higher and low, where the market closed. Closed previous day roughly around we'll do 655 just to kind of keep it simple, right? This is where the market closed and we had a high of 658. We don't really have to mark that. The main thing we're gonna be looking for is the gap because that's our level of interest. On the downside, where is SPY actually opening up? That's going to be very important. So SPY's opening print for the day is 646.50 or 40, right? Now this is where you have your overnight gap, right? We closed at 655. We opened at 646.40 the following day. Second thing I'm going to do is obviously mark that pre-market level where SPY coming down had a little bit of trouble. Then when it finally broke out, we retested that level. Now, in order for this gap to work out or for me to take the trade, my level of interest is going to be roughly around that 650 level. So as you guys can see, we go into that 650, we get that pullback. So let's change this time frame to the 5-minute because now that is our level of interest for the particular day. So we break out, we have a little bit of trouble when we finally hold above 650, right? This is where I actually took this trade. I went long, and you guys can see right after that, we had that crazy spike of fall through. Obviously, I wasn't really expecting such a crazy move, but this is now filling the gap. So I'm going to remove this level for you because this was coming in from the pre-market. You have the close right here from the previous day. You have the open for the today right here. Now this is your level of interest for the gap. This is where we want to see buyers being more interested in getting aggressive, right? And when you look at the volume on the 5-minute, it has been very, very consistent throughout the whole day going into that 657. After that 657, you guys can see that drastic drop of volume. That is going to be your level of interest. Now, once you've identified this, you have to understand your risk. 0DT is going to bring much more risk than normal trades. So if when you're trading on Monday, your expiration is on Friday, you might be losing, let's say 10% on an average based on your stop losses. But for 0DT, that same type of stop loss, because the contract is expiring that particular day, you're going to be losing maybe 20 to 25%, right? For an average trade that I take, my average loss on these 0DTs is roughly around 20. Now, how do you manage your risk? When you're going in with your position size on these type of trades, let's say on weekly contracts, your position size is $2,000. When you're doing 0DT, where let's say, and your stop loss usually gives you 10% stop loss if you're wrong, right? That's roughly around $200. Let's say this is your strategy that works very well for the weekly contracts. When you're doing 0DT, the best way to manage your risk is, let's assume that your stop loss is going to cost you 20%. You want to make sure whatever position size you go with, your loss is still the same as normal. So if your $2,000 position size loss is $200 or 10%, that 10% or 200 has to be the same for your lower position size. So if you're going to go with 1,000 position size, your 20% equals to the 10% loss on a $2,000 position. This is how you manage your risk on 0DT, because now there's going to be times when these trades are not going to work out. There's going to be times where you're going to be stopped out. So you want to focus more on this risk management side rather than thinking about how much you could actually make on their trade, because that's what most traders focus on when they're jumping into these trades. They do the math, or maybe they saw somebody else make crazy amount of money. They look at the contracts going from $1 to $6. They start doing the math. Like if I go in with 5 contracts and I close all of them at the peak, which almost never happens, right? It's impossible to time a perfect entry and exit. But when they start doing that, this is where their risk management gets thrown out, right? So your risk management is going to be the number one thing that's going to help you get the best results of 0DT. If your risk management is not in play, let's say you take a trade in a normal position size, it's going to work out. It might work out first. It might work out the first time, second time, and the third time, but it's going to take a single loss where your confidence is going to be wrecked. You go in with a $2,000 position size, you lose 30%, 40%, and you know what happens? With a lot of people that I've talked to, usually what they do is, and I've done this in the past as well, they end up overholding. They're down 30%. They start thinking, you know what? If this goes back up to 10%, I'll take it. That 30% loss turns into 50%. They say, you know what? If it goes back to 30%, I'll take it then. And at that point, they've already given up on that trade. The only way they're closing that trade out is if it's break even. Otherwise, they just keep letting it go from 50 to 70 to 80. Once it crosses a certain level, and it might be different for a lot of you guys out there, Like after 70% loss or 60% loss, you say, you know what, screw it. I'm just not gonna even look at this. This trade is done. I lost. I'll come back tomorrow. That builds a very bad habit for a trader. That completely ruins your mindset. And what that's gonna cause is every time you have a winning streak, you'll have that one time where you mess up and you're gonna give all the gains back. So your risk management has to be the main pillar of your trading system, especially for ZRDT. So this is the formula that you guys want to follow. And last thing is going to be the time factor. You see going into your particular level, let's say the range. So you have a range here and you have a range here, right? If you're looking for that break of range, what you wanna make sure is leading into that range, price has to be clean. If price looks like it's wicking out, it's not having continuations, it's constantly pulling back, that is going to cause those premiums to not pay that well. Because when you're doing ZRDT, time is not on our side. As a buyer, the time is against us. So basically what we want is quick, aggressive moves like this. If price action starts to move like this, after every 5-minute candle that closes like this, your premiums are going to lose 2 to 3%, right? When you look at that across 10 candles, that's 20 to 30% loss that those premiums are going to take, again, depending on the time of the day on those ZRDT contracts. And if you have a stop loss, let's say your stop loss is at 654, that candle might not even hit that and you might already be down 20%. So when you are going into these trades, you have to pay attention to the time factor. We have to make sure leading into where you're planning an entry. So let's say you're planning an entry at 656, candles have to be clean. There has to be volume. There has to be buildup of momentum, because if there's no momentum for these ZRDT trades, you're not going to get the best result. So your risk to reward ratio is going to have a very large gap. So it's not going to make sense for you to be taking those type of trades. So when you guys are taking your next ZRDT trade, make sure you guys follow this checklist. Otherwise, if you feel like any one of these things are not available for that checklist, don't take the trade. Because if you take that trade and one thing isn't there, let's say the time factor or price action is not clean, you are going to be on the losing end. And that loss is going to be tremendously larger than your normal losses. And it's going to be very hard for you to get out of it. So my biggest tip, besides these few things that I named for you guys, is if you are interested in learning how to trade ZRDT, start with a paper account. If you don't want to get into a paper account, trade with one contract and keep your focus 100% on those contracts and price action. That's it. Don't switch between looking at other setups, because if you're in a learning phase, you want to make sure you're paying attention to how price is moving and how the contracts are reacting to that price change. That's going to tell you if that trade is worth holding versus closing the trade out. I hope this video was helpful, guys. Comment below what other topics I should cover, and I'll see you guys in the next video.